whatever happened in your past is not your downfall. You can use it to pick not just yourself up, but others. And one more thing before I forget. Once Incarcerated Anonymous is doing a survey, an online survey, to find out how many people with criminal records have been homeless or in danger of homelessness in the state of Connecticut. The forum, you can email me. It's online, it's live, and it's on our Once Incarcerated Anonymous webpage.
Okay, so we need to bring up your web site.
Yeah.
To make sure, so folks who are watching, there's Larice Harvey website that will roll up at the bottom of the screen. And I strongly encourage people who are interested in making a difference with helping folks who are homeless or understanding the politics or the barriers with housing or the basic living. I mean, we ask ourselves, how does one end up in a situation? Recidivism is high. And I know some of the reasons for recidivism being high, people coming out, going back and forth, is basic needs, basic housing, food, clothing, shelter, having a job, having a real second chance at the basic
stuff,
part of life. When we look at Maslow, the whole hierarchy of needs, and if you're basic needs aren't being met, I'm not saying that, it give you a card to run out and do anything, but I'm thinking when you're hungry, and things happen. When you're home, when you're cold, like right now, it's really cold outside, and we look at people, and oftentimes people would, say, oh, you should not give that person money, or you should not. I'm like, listen, I give from my heart. Whatever happens outside of me giving from my heart, I am not responsible for that, right?
Right.
And so I love that you said that if you're going to judge the 50-something-year-old me for something in my 20s, right? Listen, I'm gonna need you to actually get a life as well,
because if you found out what happened, you'll be mad that you got that pit, because it was self-defense, and Connecticut doesn't have one.
So we have Larice Harvey. Do you have? Now tell me now. You said Maya Angelou is your favorite poet.
Yes.
And we done named her favorite poem.
Yes. Pretty Woman, Phenomenal Woman. Pretty woman, wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when they start to tell me, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curve of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. That's the beginning. Oh, listen. Yeah, I could do the whole thing. It gets me through rough days. Yeah, she's very powerful.
That is an affirmation. We have different forms of writing. Oftentimes we have people who write pieces and they don't realize what they're doing. They're breathing life. There are people who write and they have what I call blooming words. Something that gives life. And like I said, all of this in alignment from acceptance, inclusion, being unique, bottom line, and like Bella Ray says, hey, look, it don't matter about none of all that stuff that anybody talking about. Is what you got going on inside.
What's your heart?
What's your heart saying? What's your heart song? What's your heart love story?
Mm-hmm.
You with your piece and asking people about thought and the being phenomenal. Like Dr. Maya Angelou and her pieces, she saved my life as well. Because here I am, and she have written a piece, Poor Girl.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And she written a piece, Poor Girl, and I just thought that, okay, poor girl, and it was telling me to, if there's a cautionary tale, I might want to pay attention to things coming my way, and don't be so ego-driven that you can't take something from an unlikely sister keeper. And and that poor girl, phenomenal woman,
Still I rise.
and all of that, you know, that piece, actually, that right there, that is what you call an affirmation.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't care. You may whatever to me or whatever, but I will. And what I call my Phoenix Sage Circles. The whole phoenix burning to ash and still rising and changing and flipping things, you know. We have to do that. Your book, just the title, this Pave Your Pain into Power, that in itself, pave your pain into power. Use your life as your superpower.
Yeah.
That's like the RSS 101, okay? And I tell you that if we look at our now, right, things like Button's Journey will resonate with you. I love your book. I had an opportunity to like jump into your book. You have won the award.
Yes.
Every Kind of Lady Award.
Yes. It was my second one.
Yes.
I'm so
And
excited.
The Hartford Lit Trailblazing Change Making Award. You have been in a lot of arenas. When I look at your bio, and I have to keep peeking because I keep looking at things that, like, Mom, I don't want to mess this up, okay? But to read that you have done 20 years as a grassroots organization, has built a nonprofit, has been an advocate, a leader, an inspirational speaker, a poet, and the list go on and on. But the primary inside story is that transition, that real butterfly, that real green, that real life, that newness you keep building. Is there anything that you have going on next? Anything you must say that you need to leave everybody with?
Yes. So this year I was supposed to publish it, but then I lost. The worst thing for a writer is losing your material. So I found my book. So the next book I'm sending out is going to be Dating While FIP. And everybody's like, what's FIP? Formerly incarcerated person. And so I'm sending that out, and at the same time I'm going to be releasing Button's Journey. My journey in advocacy. So, like, you know, all the things that I advocated for, what happened. And I'm going to say this. Learning to love myself has been a life journey. I used to think I love myself, and I didn't. You know, I love how people made me feel, even though I didn't feel that way about myself.
Okay.
So paving your pain into power is one step forward to self-love and self-awareness.
Okay. Oh, God, wow. Well, I don't have this book.
No,
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
autograph
get
that
this
for
book.
you.
Okay. Do we have a green pen?
It's over in the green room.
Okay. Well, the green pen is in the green room. Okay. But y'all heard that I'm going to have a copy of this, but you know what? This is a cafe. And this cafe would not be the same without cookies. I am the cookie monster.
Okay, you got chocolate chip.
I got chocolate chip, babe. I got chocolate chip.
I'm the cookie monster.
I have to tell you, I did not bake these cookies. I pretend to bake these cookies. I put them in this container as if I bake these cookies. So I keep trying to tell the viewers out there that if indeed.
Oh,
Yeah,
they look
great cookie recipe.
gourmet.
It's not that I can't.
Oh, no,
I just need
no.
to find the time.
Yeah,
I can make a mean sugar cookie. I guess anybody can make a sugar cookie, right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I am
that's
good
a
with making
mistake.
pies.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Yeah, I
you
can
are.
make pies. I can make sweet potato pie like nobody business now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
Here you go. Well, we
These
just have
are-
this oatmeal.
Wait,
and the
this is chocolate chip.
There you go.
See, I know the difference. Ooh,
Yes.
and they're the soft kind. Yes. Now, do I eat it now or take it with me?
You can
'Cause
take it with you.
thank you so much. This has been such a treat for me. I got my favorite cookie. I got my tea, and I spilled some tea, and so.
You spilled some tea. And again,
It was a
and we
pleasure.
can pop up the Reese website information at the bottom of the screen. You have grace this stage with your poetry, with your advocacy, with your real life stories. I'm using your story as a superpower.
Yes.
And once again, we have Button's Journey. My first, you done turned it around.
Oh, my bad.
We have Button's Journey right here. And this is a beautiful book. Button's Journey, my first 2 years living with PTSD.
Yeah.
This is a really beautiful, I love the back too. It says, I wonder as I give you a glimpse of my daily life, if you accept yourself, I am no longer afraid if you accept me or not. I am more afraid if you don't accept yourself. That is beautiful. That, my dear, is phenomenal. Phenomenally done, right? So, well, that's our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you better come back with some more poetry and some more advocacy. And I just wanna thank
when
you.
I release my poetry book, my
Come
dear,
give me my hug. Mm-hmm.
you know I was coming.
Thank
My
you.
favorite person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching Enzima Poetry Cafe show with every kind of poetry spills. This was our last show of 2024. We'll see you in the new year. And ending on that note, we end with kindness, acceptance, forgiveness, and transformation, and being a model for the little ones so that they too can use their voice, no matter how itty bitty their voice is, or how short, muffled it might be, or how big and out flying with the birds that might be. We pay attention. And some places on the continent of Africa, in some tribes, they always lead with, how are the children? Instead of,
Yes.
how are you? They say, how are the children? Because they know that if the children are fine, if they're healthy, they're well, then everybody else, their future is fine. How are the children?
How are the children?
Right? And today we saw Bella Ray, we seen Larice, and we would like to end on that note and tell everybody, keep giving, be kind, and see you next year.
Season's greetings.
Season greetings, yes.
Okay. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 28th, 2026 meeting of the Long Meadow School Committee. Mass General Law allows for remote participation at public meetings until June 30th, 2027. All votes while there is remote participation must be made by roll call vote. This meeting is being recorded and aired live on LCTV. School committee members, when I call your name, please say here for the record. Nicole?
Here.
Zach?
Here.
Emily?
Here.
Kate?
Here.
Jamie?
Here.
And I'm here too, Michaela. All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I don't think we have anyone here for public speak. No. So do we have any school committee announcements or recognitions? Oh, oops. I'm just so excited. Meeting long. I just skipped ahead. Oops, I forgot my readers.
That will make it harder.
Okay, so we don't have any correspondence, but we do have approval of minutes.
I move that the school committee approve the minutes of the April 14th, 2026 school committee meeting as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
So there's actually one thing, I don't know how nitpicky we want to be, but
Okay.
it actually
for it.
says that Kate gave the energy and sustainability report instead of me.
Whoops. Okay.
So page 3, other reports, item D, it says Miss Bean, not Miss Hanson.
Can we change it, but still like approve the motion based on those
As
changes?
amended?
Yes, as amended.
I will adjust my motion to be as amended.
Getting put to work already, Tom.
Great.
Second.
Your second.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for
Give me
paying
chocolate.
such close attention to detail.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Takes a village.
Yeah.
Emily,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
and a yes for me too. Okay, now there is nobody here for the public speak. And do we have any school committee announcements or recognitions?
Welcome back from April break, everyone.
Yeah. Was it just April break? It's been like a month. Oh man. Okay, business with guests.
So pleased to introduce to the committee and to the community the recently hired principal for Center School, Mr. Andy Villameno. If you want to come on up, Andy. Andy went through a rigorous screening process that lasted well over a month and involved many stakeholders. Andy went through screening committee interviews, met with our admin team, met with Center School staff, met with Center School parents, had some one-on-one time with me, and at the end of the day, Andy rose to the top based on his experience and his ability to establish really productive relationships as an educator. And so, very pleased to introduce to the community and to the committee, Mr. Andy Villameno. He has a few thoughts that he wanted to share with you, and then he would welcome any questions or comments that you might have. So, Andy, thank you.
Thank you so much, and good evening. I want to thank you for welcoming me here tonight. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Superintendent O'Shea and the Center School Principal Search Committee for their time, thoughtfulness, and trust in selecting me as the next principal of Center School. This summer, I will begin my 23rd year in education. I started as a middle school band director in the Hampden-Wilbraham Regional School District before transitioning to school leadership. First as an assistant principal, and now as a principal, where I've proudly served the students and families of Agawam at the Phelps School for the past 5 years. Throughout the interview process, as lengthy as it was, I did have the chance to meet a wide range of stakeholders in both the center and Longmeadow community. From connecting with retiring Principal Hutton to engaging with district leadership, staff, and families, each conversation deepened my excitement about joining this community. What stood out most to me was not only the strong sense of community, but the level of thoughtfulness and care behind the questions that were asked. They reflected a community that is deeply committed to students, values, collaboration, and holds high expectations for both leadership and learning. Those interactions made it clear to me that Center is a special place, one where students are supported, challenged, and truly known. And as I begin, my focus will be on listening, learning, and building strong relationships with staff, students, and families, so that together we can continue to create the conditions where great teaching thrives and every student feels a strong sense of belonging. I'm incredibly excited to be a part of this community and to continue building on the strong foundation already in place. Again, thank you for your time this evening, and I'm truly looking forward to getting started.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? Nicole?
No questions, just you have wonderfully big shoes to fill, and we look forward to getting to know you and
Thank
seeing
you so
more
much.
about your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to speak to us. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like you have a really great background with social emotional learning, and I think it'd be really good for the elementary school kids to have your expertise
Thank you so much.
and the music too.
A
It's
little bit of that.
exciting. Anybody else? Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I told him we would excuse him after
Oh, yeah,
his
you are-
appearance tonight, so thank you.
I mean, you don't want to stay, are you sure?
Great evening.
It's so much fun.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Nicole Paris-Crowe, Director of Special Education.
All right, so annually, our Director of Special Education reports to the school committee with an update, opportunity to provide some of the latest information, trends, and directions of special education in Long Meadow Public Schools. We are fortunate to have Nicole as our director. She is one of the earliest folks to arrive and usually is leaving after me in the evening. So it is a complex, challenging job where Nicole directs and coordinates the work of hundreds of staff members and a significant budget, and with great care and professionalism. And Nicole's background for the committee and for the community, she originally was a paraprofessional.
Yes.
And I think that
Long time ago.
a long time
Very,
ago,
very young.
but has gained some incredible experiences along the way and has risen to this position as Director of Special Education. And I just note that because I think it really speaks to the care that Nicole has for the educators she works with and the students that she serves as well. So Nicole prepared a slide deck for us, and I'll pull that up. If you just give me a second, you can feel free to
Well,
get started.
Thank you very much. That was very, very kind introduction. It's great to see everyone. I have a brief overview of just hitting the highlights of some of the wonderful things that are going on. I am so lucky to have the support of central office staff, certainly, but also of the amazing educators and related service providers that I work with. They are tremendous. They're knowledgeable, they're empathetic, they're kind, they are kid-centric, and I could not do this job alone, nor would I want to, so I do it with all of the people that I work with every day. You know, I'm so lucky to have them and learn from them all the time, so thank you. The overview of services that we provide, so the Office of Special Education provides a range of services, supports, programs to ensure students with disabilities have equal access to learning and opportunities for success. So, of course, we oversee special education, but also Section 504. And we work with students and families families of students ages 3 to 22 or high school graduation. So that's a far span. So I oversee our preschool program as well, and the intricate parts of transitioning from early intervention to preschool, along with Kat Beavis, who is our preschool supervisor as well as a BCBA, and I am very lucky to have learned so much from her over the years. We provide a lot of related services such as occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech and language, BCBA services, which are board certified analysts, and our school adjustment counselors, who provide mental health support and social emotional support for our students. And then there are services that we contract with, which are, for example, teachers of the visually impaired and teachers of the deaf as well. Just to hit a couple of highlights. I spoke to briefly our integrated preschool, which is housed at Wolf Swamp School. We have 4 half-day sections, and starting this year, we have 1 full-day section that we're going to take with us into the new school year. We offer language-based learning, ABA services, in-class supports. We embed our preschool classes with our related services. And we offer also itinerant services. For those students that don't participate in our Long Meadow preschool but still are Long Meadow residents and require some related services such as speech and language, OT or PT, they're able to come to our preschool at a designated time and meet with a service provider. Excuse me. We also have our health services, which fall under my domain as well. We have our 6 school nurses, one-to-one school nurse, and currently we have 1 floater nurse position, which will be housed at our high school. Our school nurses oversee the supports and safety of our students, health related. They also work with families and work with educators on supporting students, for example, if they have allergies or they require some specific nursing care. They oversee and help maintain that caseload with us. They also help students develop skills to manage their own health. So we have some students that maybe when they were in elementary school required more nursing care than they do when they transition to high school. And so that's all part of the transition throughout the Long Meadow Public Schools. I've added some hyperlinks there so that you can take a look at in your free time, which I'm sure you all have so much of. You can click and see our Blueberry Center, Wolf Swamp, our middle school and high school nurse newsletters. They have newsletters that they send out to families, but they also have websites that they maintain, and they post pertinent information for families to access. And then our school adjustment counselors are another group of amazing individuals that I am so lucky to partner with on a daily basis. These are highly qualified school adjustment counselors. I think all of our school adjustment counselors are also licensed social workers, which is really very rare in districts. They provide targeted support for all students, so not just students on special that have IEPs or 504s, but they work with all of our students in providing social emotional support, but also mental health support. And they partner with families as well to reach out and access mental health supports across the community or to make referrals on families' behalfs. So they do really important work that has evolved so much over the years, especially since COVID, that we actually, could always use more, right? Districts are really struggling with hiring and maintaining their social workers or their school adjustment counselors. And we've been very lucky in this district to have maintained our social workers for more than 1 year, in some cases more than 2 or 3 years. And the fact that they're all licensed social workers are just a tremendous benefit for this district and our community. Then we get into our specialized programs and our inclusion services. So as I mentioned, Wolf Swamp has our integrated preschool. Then we have inclusion services available at all of our schools. And I'm speaking as if everybody knows what that means. I'm hoping that you all do. But inclusion means that we're providing students the specialized instruction and supports they need within their general education classroom. And so that's provided across all of our schools. We have specialized programs as well, and we have a specialized program in each one of our schools, elementary through high school. Our programs are our LLD programs, which are at Blueberry and Williams, and that's our language-based learning disabilities program. That is a partial inclusion program. It's district-wide, and it supports students grades 3 through 8. This program focuses on specialized instruction in the areas of language, reading, and writing. Then we have our LINK program, which is at each one of our elementary schools, as well as our middle schools. This program is the Long Meadow Integrated Instruction. It's a K through 8 program and focuses on the needs of our students with moderate to severe disabilities across multiple domains. So requiring intensive specialized design instruction in order to access school, the classroom, and the curriculum. A lot of our students in these programs also may need the support of fine motor, gross motor, and communication, as well as some social emotional support too. And then in our high school, we have our life skills program. And this program is just wonderful. It is thinking about students' transition post-secondary. So it's working with our kids at the high school level through, in some cases, till they're 22, working on independent living skills, job training, as well as the educational components that their IEP require and their competency determination graduation requirements dictate as well. We have students in this program that participate in internships, our elective programs within the high school, and our after-school clubs and sports. And then related services are throughout pre-K through high school. This slide is a lot of information, and I'm going to kind of let you look at it and digest it a little bit, but I'll give you an overview. This is a breakdown of our historical and current enrollment trends in special education. I've also added the 504 numbers in there. So it's a breakdown from March 2023 to this current year, end of March, with our total enrollment numbers across the district, our breakdown of our IEP numbers, and then our 504 numbers, how many students we've had that have participated in or are participating in full inclusion, partial inclusion, perhaps in one of our specialized programs, our sub-separate programs, and then our total number of out-of-district day or residential programs. And you'll notice a fluctuation in our total enrollment numbers, but also in our numbers of students that have been participating in out-of-district. So you'll notice that we have 14 less this year out-of-district students as opposed to when we did in 2023. We've been very lucky to have the support of school committee and our central office team as well in developing in-district programs to keep students in district as long and as much as possible or bring them back into district. We have a lot of, our out-of-district placements across Massachusetts and Connecticut that are struggling to maintain and to get and maintain staffing. And we've seen a fluctuation in the type of programming that is provided. We have some excellent out-of-district programs, but there have been some instances where we've been able to build our own programming, and it's been what's best for kids. DESE, in all their wisdom, provides some annual feedback and determination. So they have revamped their review matrix a little bit, and they use that to evaluate districts on performance, such as graduation rates, achievement, inclusion, compliance, such as discipline, equity, early identification. So that goes back to that preschool, that early intervention, and transition planning, so those folks that are going 18 to 22-year-olds, along with the financial compliance and accurate data reporting. So they've taken all of that and they've decided that in the 2024-25 school year, Long Meadow Public School was identified as meeting or meets requirements. And what that means is they took all the scores and they weighted the weighted scores, and they gave an overall percentage. And so when it says meets requirements, that means that we were in a range from 80 to 100% in compliance. So that's excellent. That's something to be really proud of. And that took the work of all the folks that I've been mentioning throughout this presentation. And then finally, because you never can get too much of a good thing, we participated in an integrated monitoring review summaries. So basically, that's an audit. That's an audit of our special education department. And this is something that districts participate in or are made to participate in every so many years, right? Yeah, every 3 to 6 years in some capacity or another. So we were part of the Group A last year, so March 2025. This was a very comprehensive process. We had someone from DESE that came to us that was right in our offices across the hall there, in our schools, for several days. Prior to their in-person sort of monitoring, you have to get a number of different forms of paperwork and things to them, random files on students. And they also send out a survey, and they speak with parents, and they speak with staff, and they speak with administrators. And it was a pretty lengthy process. They came and they looked at special education, civil rights, general education, our DCAP, our preschool, very just very comprehensive and had a lot of amazing questions. I took a lot of great feedback from that and developed some new processes and procedures and guidance for us as a whole. But we came through this process with 40 so there were 40 standards that were reviewed, and of those 40, we came through with 39 as being implemented. So that's substantial. Like, that is excellent. Of those 40 standards, only had one that was partially implemented. Not that it wasn't, but it was partially. So this is a very, very good outcome for us, and it just goes to show what an amazing program and department of hardworking people that we have. So this is something that I'm really very proud of, and I think that Marty shares my pride in this.
It's an outlying statistic, like
Yeah.
it's an outlier.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's a great report card.
it is a great report card.
Worthy
It's
of
hard to get.
putting
Hard
it
to
on-
get.
Unicorn report.
Yeah.
It's a unit, I do
Under the
like that.
refrigerator.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like an A minus-ish maybe, right?
No, it's like an A+.
Okay, I'll take it, A+. Love that for us.
I do too.
Professional development, we've had a tremendous year of professional development. We've partnered with Massachusetts Partnership for Youth. I have a little hyperlink on there for you guys to click on. They provide annual trainings, so this is the second year that my department was able to purchase it for the district. They offer a number of mental health trainings for staff. They offer trainings for BCBAs around social emotional learning, around behavioral, trauma-informed. It is a wonderful organization. We've also been very lucky to continue our partnership with BayPath. Alan Bloom, who is a guru in special education, I think some of you may be familiar with him. We've had some time where we had our special educators met with him in the fall to help us focus more on data collection, writing measurable goals, being really thoughtful about our service delivery grid recommendations, how to really focus on writing our high school goals as we're talking about and working on developing really thoughtful transition planning to that secondary portion of our young students' lives. So we've had some great time with Alan. And then we've also recently partnered with Riverside Community Care. They are out mostly in Eastern Mass, but they partner with BHN and CHD, and they've worked with us. They provided us a lot of social emotional support during some times where the district was going through some really difficult times that we've gone through recently this year as a district, but also a couple of our schools that were really going through some challenging times. And they provide intervention, postvention, school and community support. Our social workers recently went through a very robust training around suicide and suicide prevention and recognition, and how to provide and support families and communities with postvention and intervention supports. And so we're going to continue our partnership with Riverside. We're looking forward to continuing that. Keys to Literacy have been a wonderful partner as well, and our preschool teachers have participated in some great early literacy training, which they're going to continue to work with Keys to Literacy for next year as well. Our partnership for Advanced of School Service Providers, PASS, they came and worked with our related service providers, our OT and PT and our APE providers, on how to collect meaningful data, but also how to co-treat and how to write measurable goals for students to access school and not focus on writing goals that were more clinical based. So that's been a wonderful shift for us, and our providers have done a great job with that. Annually, we have a 504 training with one of our attorneys, Elysia St. Florian, who comes and provides a 504 overview and regulation with our admin team, as well as our school counselors at the high school who write and facilitate 504 meetings, our middle school 504 providers, as well as our elementary. And so we will continue to move forward with that. And then James Levine from James Levine and Associates, he provides bi-monthly consultation with our school adjustment counselors and myself. And so that is embedded PD for those folks. So that's just some of the highlights that I've hit. and the great work that we're going to continue to do, along with the internal trainings that are led by our special education supervisors, our preschool coordinators, our BCBA, and myself. And some next steps that we're really excited about. We are going to be developing a social emotional program at our middle school level and continue to enhance our social emotional and behavioral program at the high school level as well. So this is something that we see that there's a need for, and we are responding and looking forward to building this program. With this program, we're also going to embed consultation with an outside provider as well to help give us some feedback on things that we need to really bolster and focus our attentions on. We're looking to strengthen our transition programming for students ages 18 to 22, which means continuing to foster our partnerships with adult agencies and working with families well ahead of time, preparing them for what that's going to look like for their young adult children. We are planning on hosting a post-secondary transition fair for students and families in partnership with the Department of Developmental Services, DDS, Mass Ability, and Mass Health. That's going to be coming in the fall. And we're expanding our partnership with mental health agencies and providers, including the Center for Human Development, CHD, and the Department of Mental Health, which is also known as DMH. In fact, SEAL is going to be hosting on May 8th, I think it is. We're going to be 13th?
That's what day?
It could be. It must be the 13th. I'm sorry.
This is Wednesday.
Yeah, we went back and forth. That's right, the 13th. Thank you. May 13th, we are hosting a conversation with the Department of Developmental Services and Mass Ability, and we're inviting families to participate in that to learn more about what those transition services will look like for their students, for their children. Then got some resources here for you to click on your links. Click on the links. The Massachusetts Referral Evaluation Eligibility Determination Guide that DESE has put out, Interactive Parent and Guardian Guide to Special Education in Massachusetts, the Parent's Notice of Procedural Safeguards, which goes out with every IEP and every consent form that we mail out. And then just for your viewing pleasure, the Group A sort of overview of the special education checklist and student record checklist that we were asked to put together and provide as part of our integrated monitoring audit. I just sort of said all of this so
Great job.
quickly, and I apologize
It's
for
a lot
talking
to
so
cover.
fast, but I welcome any questions or feedback that you may have.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
Of course.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for Nicole? Go ahead, Nicole.
I have both. I'll start with comments. It looks like it's been a very busy year. Thank you very much for putting all of this together.
Of course.
I'm particularly pleased to see that we're still able to be providing increases in in-house programming or in-district programming. It's wonderful to see that so many students are more able to access education right in their own community. So that's exciting to see
Thank
that. And also how many community partnerships you've built over the time. That's a really excellent resource, not just for our students, but also their families and
Thank you.
educators. So kudos for that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. It's a joint effort.
Yeah, I was curious, on the last slide you put some resources that were included there. I'm guessing that the answer to this might be yes for at least a good chunk of those, but I'm curious if we have a space on our website where parents are able to access a lot of that.
Yes, so our website has much of this already, and I think almost all of it. And then my website is, my portion of the website is I'm constantly updating it and adding more to it.
That's wonderful. That's good to know for
And
families.
this
to be able to
presentation
look
will be
at.
on there as well.
Perfect. And then I was curious when you said you did the that audit that happened with the 39 out of 40, et cetera, which is wonderful. Excellent. Kudos. You mentioned there was one that was listed as maybe partially met. I'm curious if there's any advances or updates. Did they give recommendations? What happens
Yeah,
next
so-
with that piece of the puzzle?
A lot of districts got partially implemented for this one. The Department of Education changed the rules a little bit on us. So at one point, we had 45 days in which to hold an IEP meeting. Sorry, that's not true. Send out a consent form, evaluate a student, and hold the meeting. But then they kind of elaborated on that and said, so within the 45 days, you need to send out the consent form, evaluate the student, hold the meeting, and get an IEP out. We used to have an additional 5 days sort of built in to that process, which they took back and said, no longer. You need to get this all done within the 45 days. So we really now only have 40 days in which to get the consent, evaluate the student, hold the meeting, and then
So that you have time
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
the last 5 days
Changes
can be.
timelines.
It does.
and
It does,
leads to a lot of training because
Mhm,
it's hard.
it did.
It changes everything.
it did. And they were very
scheduling.
quiet about that change. They didn't really advertise it very much. So
Still
some of
fun.
us, yeah, so
Keeping you
some
on
of
your
us,
toes.
we're still trying to, get up to speed. So that's what we.
So it does
that's what we
require
got to
some
do.
changes on scheduling, et
Mhm.
cetera. and
Which
those
we
I'm
did.
sure
So
are
we
required.
took that feedback and we revamped our consent forms. And so we've revamped many processes and checklists and internal checklists as well to ensure that we are meeting that moving forward.
Now I
Quick
have
turnaround.
One more, if that's okay.
Mhm.
Yes. When you were talking about special educate or social emotional rather at the middle school level, will that be also Yale Ruler, building on Yale Ruler, something totally different than Yale Ruler? What are we thinking? at this
So
point?
Yale Ruler is amazing. It's not a program per se, so I would say that there are parts of it that we would certainly adopt, but it would be more of a therapeutic, trauma-informed programming.
Okay.
So certainly those students will be part of the school, and the school has adopted Yale Ruler, so they will have aspects of it embedded into their school day, but it will just go a little bit further.
Great. Thank you.
Of
Appreciate
course,
the extra
yeah,
info.
sure.
I have a question. Could you go to slide 5? I think it had the number of students. So am I reading this right that about a quarter of our students have an IEP or a 504?
Yes.
Do you know how that measures up against like other districts, or like is that kind of the average?
So I would say it's kind of average. We're probably a little bit less than that. We're more like at a 21 or 22%. Maybe at one year we had 23.
It's 23 or 24% each year.
So
Yeah.
I would say that is in line with other districts and under Massachusetts for the state.
Okay.
So we're
And that's like a moving target that's
100%.
moved, Emily.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was getting my master's, it was not this, and that wasn't the average, and it's been a moving target.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it definitely fluctuates.
Yeah.
For sure. I have to say though, when you look year to year, you'll see that our total enrollment has fluctuated too, pretty considerably.
Yeah, but it's 23 or 24% over
Yeah.
those 4 years. And I was didn't know if that reflected like us having so many opportunities for people to get the help that they need, that was maybe higher than average, or if that was kind of on par with other districts.
If you look at the other districts around here, so like East Longmeadow, Hamden, Wilbraham, Ludlow, the other districts, you'll see that we're right in line
Yeah.
with the other districts. We may be, I would say probably right in the middle, mostly.
Okay.
That was a great question.
Oh,
The
thank you.
state average for percentage of students on IEPs is around 20%, I think, and then
Okay.
you add in the, so the number of
Yeah.
students on 504s brings it to the total that you mentioned. But, yeah.
Exactly, right.
Awesome.
If you were just looking at the IEP numbers, and I
Yeah.
think that's what the state might be looking at as well.
Okay, thank you.
That was a really good question.
That was a
Thank
good
you.
question.
Thank you,
Because
guys.
it's like not an easy answer.
Yeah.
It really is a moving target.
Yeah.
It really is.
Does anyone else? Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I would just like to echo everyone else's congratulations. Thank you for all that you've accomplished in the last year, and as always, doing all that you do with such rigor, professionalism, and care.
Oh, thank you very much. This is the
thank
work
you.
that I love, so I don't
Well,
mind.
it shows. Yeah.
It definitely does.
Thank you. Thank
I
you very
agree
much.
with everything everybody has said. I think that it's really important about the programming that you've brought into the district, and something that hasn't been said about that I've thought deeply about. Personally, I have a lot of family members that have learning disabilities, and some are adults, and I was talking to them recently, and a lot of them are pursuing careers in music and in theater, and I know it's because they had those opportunities to stay in the district and have those enrichment opportunities, and it just like that is like, you can't even put a price on that. And I know that this is an efficiently run program, and obviously is getting graded well, but I just think that's like something that's really great.
Thank you. Thank you. There are some students that require out-of-district placements, and so we will always be looking at student-by-student basis, case-by-case basis, and not just making general commitments or generalizations. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Anybody else?
That was great, thank you.
Well, I appreciate your feedback, and it's always welcome, so feel free to reach out if you have any more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thanks.
Good night.
All right. Student representative report, Tanika.
All right, so today we had our distracted driving assembly where the DA's office came down and put a presentation on for the juniors and seniors. It was about an hour or so, and we heard from members of the DA who've had experiences with just like distracted driving and crashes, like seeing it firsthand with the clients. And we also watched a very impactful video about distracted driving and the very negative and serious consequences that it has. And then tomorrow we have the Western Massachusetts Association of Student Councils, WMASC, conference in which 2 students from our student council are running for positions, so we wish them luck. We have 1 student who's running for president and then 1 who's running for secretary. We heard at the student council meeting this morning both of their speeches or drafts, and they were very good, so I think they have a good chance. And then High Meadow for the seniors is this Friday, and it's really the kickoff for senior events. It starts a lot of the different things like prom, graduation down the line, so it's very exciting. And then this Friday also is the Drama Club's production of Little Women, which will be Friday at 7 p.m. and then Saturday at 5 p.m. That's it.
Thank you, Tanika.
Thanks.
It's exciting. It's gonna
It
go by so
is.
fast. The end of
So fast.
this year.
Can't
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just goes by so quick. Feels like I was just in high school. Weird. Okay, school committee chair report. I don't have that much to say other than we have a town meeting on May 12th. It's a really special day. It's nobody's birthday that I know. And isn't it so nice that we all get to go to town meeting and vote yes for the budget? It's great. Also, there's the election in June 2nd.
Yes.
Wait, yep,
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Second,
That's it.
third.
June 2nd, yep.
It's in June.
That's all I really had to share.
All right. I would add, town meeting, the residents will consider whether to fund the center school roof project.
okay.
So that would be
Important.
awesome to get a turnout so people can hopefully make an informed decision on that. That the town had an information night on Monday night, just to make sure that everybody had all the facts they needed to make a vote on a decision on that. So the only other thing I'd mention to the committee, and I conveyed this via email, but worth sort of mentioning publicly, is the state has increased, or at least the House version of the budget has increased what we could anticipate in Chapter 70 aid. So where it was $75 per student, the state, the House allocation would have us receiving $160 per student. So that's about a $227,000 difference. That money will flow to the town. It doesn't come to us as a school district, but it obviously gives the town some needed flexibility as they continue to refine the FY27 budget. So, and then alongside that, so that's the good news. The not so good news is the Title I projection that we're anticipating for next year is about $119,000 below what we received this year. Title I funds help us run some student support centers at Glenbrook and Wolf Swamp, so we'll have to think about how we can make good use of the Title I funds that are available to us to continue that work. So if the committee wants some additional updates on that, we're happy to provide that to you at some point. Yeah.
I know we've been here before at this time of year when it comes to Title I funds. Are these locked in at this point? Are we definitely losing that, or is it still in flux?
I'd say the Title I projections are more locked in. I think the money is not in hand until the summer, but
Yeah, it's not official usually until July, August-ish, but when they've given us notice this early with a projection, they're usually really close.
Sticks.
So,
yeah.
yeah,
They decided it.
yeah.
And I know we've talked about this before, but just for anyone who might be newer to this, the reason we cannot make that up ourselves in our budget if we had that available. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, I mean, if we decided to backfill and retain at least the 2 positions we currently have that are funded, if the money were to increase in the future, which is what we've seen this kind of ping pong up and down over the last 5 years or so, we would be then supplanting with Title I funds for services that were being provided by the general fund, and that's not allowed under the funding source. So I think, as the superintendent said, we're going to have to look at how to use those funds and try to maintain services best we can, but it is a significant reduction. I believe we were around $230,000 in FY26. We did decrease it down for our projection for 27. I think it was about 180, but we're still 60,000 even below that number. So we'll have to look at that as we are preparing for staffing and services for 27.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, LPVEC Board of Directors.
Yep, we had a meeting last week. Don't have my notes, but it was a general advisory committee presentation. So all of the advisories gave presentations. They presented the FY27 calendar for LPVEC. And then there was some revenue and expenditure reports and appropriations. So that's it.
Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
LPVEC Board of Governors.
We haven't met.
Okay.
I don't think we have any more meetings this year.
Oh, okay. So Seal, Nicole was mentioning we have a meeting coming up. It's just so exciting birthday week for me. Tuesday, town meeting. Wednesday, Seal meeting with the DDS presentation. And Thursday, we have a school committee meeting. So it's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited. I don't have to make any birthday plans.
There you go.
So yeah, it'll be a good meeting. It's on Zoom, May 13th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Energy and sustainability, no updates.
No updates. We haven't met since the last.
And then subcommittees, there's no updates.
Working on scheduling a meeting.
Yes.
For both curriculum and evaluation. So, yeah.
So now we're on to new business. Revised calendar 2026-2027.
Couple of calendar items for your consideration tonight. One is a minor adjustment to the elementary conference schedule. This was the calendar that the committee had previously approved, the 26-27 school year calendar. The calendar committee is recommending moving the elementary conference evening from Wednesday, the evening from Wednesday, February 3rd to Thursday, February 4th, so just shifting it by one day. In doing so, it would back the evening conferences up to the full day of conferences on the 5th. So that's that comes with a recommendation from the calendar committee to the school committee.
So it kind of makes it more smooth and probably more effective to also move it, right? Correct.
I think the elementary educators felt like it made sense not to have a day in between the full day and the evening conferences.
Do we have any questions, comments, or motion?
I move on the recommendation of the calendar committee that the school committee amend the calendar approving the change as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too.
The next item, several weeks ago, a group of students had brought a petition to the school committee. Many of the students were associated with our peer leadership group and our No Place for Hate club at the high school, and the students had proposed through the petition to add Indigenous Peoples Day to the federal holiday that falls in October, so that if the committee were to accept the petition by the students, it would to amend the district calendar to officially recognize that holiday as Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. So for your consideration tonight.
Do we have any questions or comments or possible
So in the
motion?
past, we have not. had that on our calendar.
In the past, it has only been designated as Columbus Day. Correct.
So I'd add the peer leadership group, when they came, also had polled student body from grades 7 through 12 and had a lot of support among the student body as well for that. So I'm happy to make a motion on that. I move to amend the official district calendar to recognize the federal holiday annually on the second Monday of October as Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples' Day.
Second that.
Thank you. Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too. Okay, now we have the middle school administrative model.
Excuse me 1 second. Just pull up. So, we have been actively, as you know, working towards the consolidation of our middle schools in the fall of 2028. It's an exciting project, but it's an important one. And as I was talking to one of our committee members this week, as we, with the massive investment this town and the state is making in the new middle school, I think it is also important that we ensure that we are preparing our program and our schedule and our electives for that consolidation and really actively work towards the singular identity that we know our students will benefit from. And so tonight, I'd like to propose to the committee an administrative model that will take us to that destination. And if you'll just give me 1 second, I will screen share. All right. So the model that I'm recommending this evening, again, will hopefully will lay out the next few years so that we will be really well positioned for that consolidation. So our current model, as the committee is certainly familiar with, has a principal at each of our middle schools and a assistant principal at each of our middle schools. That model has served us well, but we've been beginning to think about how well that model will serve us both when we are in the new middle school, but even in the years leading up to that. Some of the challenges with that is the redundancy that is even more of a challenge for us right now. So obviously we have a principal at Glenbrook and a principal at Williams who are doing very, very similar jobs in their own unique way, but essentially the same set of responsibilities. And then again, at the assistant principal level, these positions represent sort of duplicate work as well. One of the things that we've talked about even here around with the committee is the lack of dedicated curriculum leadership roles at the middle level. At the high school level, we enjoy the support of department chairs who have a reduced teaching load to help us with curriculum coordination and alignment and curriculum reviews. At the elementary level, our literacy and math coaches help us with laying out units of study, organizing assessment schedules, and modeling lessons for our elementary educators. And so those models serve us well at the elementary and the high school level, but at the middle level, we have not really had dedicated curriculum positions. Now, we do have curriculum coordinators, and we pay a modest stipend to folks in the 4 core disciplines, but they don't have the reduced teaching load, and so really, finding time for them to do that important work is often a challenge. Also at the middle level, we have assistant principals who coordinate special education and support daily operations, so they're 2 very busy individuals. The challenge is more acute now in that as we try to work toward that unified identity, as we try to work towards a new master schedule and a new set of programming offerings, it's a challenge. And so what I would propose tonight to the school committee will hopefully position us for the consolidation and really help us take advantage of all that the new school can offer this community and the students of this community. So I want to start with, as our educators often do, start with the end in mind and project forward to the fall of 2028. I think, in the same way that we have 4 individuals helping coordinate and lead our middle schools currently, we would land with a model that would still have four individuals coordinating the leadership of the middle school. With a Longmeadow Middle School principal, with an associate principal, and I use that title because I think it's a title that kind of is reflective of some of the deep administrative talent that we have in this district. And then we would be positioned to have a role dedicated towards curriculum coordination and a role dedicated towards special education coordination. So the value in this model that we're headed towards is having 4 individuals whose roles and responsibilities are really more efficiently defined, and it avoids the duplication and the redundancy that we currently have. Now, how do we get there? And so hopefully what I'm proposing tonight will help us down that road. So I'll back up to what potentially the 26-27 school year could look like. And so for your consideration tonight is a proposal to reorganize our middle school administration with the appointment of a Longmeadow Middle School principal. This would almost be sort of an executive level position, and one that would oversee the work of our site managers, a Glenbrook associate principal and a Williams Middle School associate principal. Supporting the work of the principal and the associate principals would be a Longmeadow Middle School principal. That person would be expected to work across both schools. It would be a kind of a cross-site position, and I could outline some of the responsibilities that would be associated with these 4 roles. And then this would also introduce a Unit A special education supervisor. So for the folks at home, Unit A positions are professionally licensed classroom educators. And so with this model, it gives us an opportunity to really start to move towards aligned special education coordination, but importantly, it helps build capacity to develop that unique singular identity, to develop the master schedule and the programs and the extracurriculars that will come with it. I was telling someone the story recently that in a prior administrative life, I had the opportunity to move from one high school to a brand new high school, and that was a heavy lift. But this is much more involved in the sense that we are combining 2 schools, 2 staffs, 2 unique cultures, while simultaneously developing a new master schedule and a new set of offerings that students can benefit from. So it's a really significant task. It's a heavy lift. It's exciting work. It really is energizing, I think, for all of us to think about what the possibilities would be. But I think this arrangement in 26, 27 would help us do some really important work next year. I think next year is the time that we really need to sketch out what the offerings in the schedule would look like, and then ultimately bring to the school committee a series of electives in the same way that the high school with its 800, 900 student body has the sort of the economy of scale to offer an elective program. We think that the new middle school with over 600 students will also give us that economy of scale. It will create opportunities for elective programming and broader programming for our middle school students. So some of the responsibilities associated with the positions that I've outlined here. And this is, I want to emphasize that this is a draft, and it really is just to share some of our best and greatest thinking on what this could look like. So on the far left, the Long Meadow Middle School principal operating at a systemic level, and a strategic level, working to develop that shared vision, helping with program design and master scheduling. I would imagine that this position would also take on the most significant personnel matters, student behavior matters, or situations where parents need additional support. It's sort of the last point of accountability in many ways. One of the things that we also need to think about is that, we are preparing to build a new school only about 20 feet or so from our existing middle school. And so managing a construction site as a school administrator is a very significant job, and so this would put us in a position to ensure that that construction minimally disrupts education at the Williams site. So this LMS principal would be the primary point of contact to the design team, the school building committee, and Fontaine Brothers, our contracting partner. I know the school committee sees that our two middle school principals are really good about messaging in similar ways to their school communities. And I think that's a responsibility that would be taken on by this Long Meadow Middle School principal. They would be sort of the primary communicator to families and staff, that newsletter type of communication. The design of professional development, early release days, and I should have added faculty meetings to this. I think, really beginning in more intentional ways next year, we want to make sure that whatever time is available to our middle school educators, that we take every opportunity to get them together, to begin to plan for the fall of 2028. Evaluations would be a responsibility across all three of these positions. Moving over to the associate principals, again, they are your operational site lead. They are primarily responsible for building operations, student support, behavior management, daily oversight of instruction and instructors, the implementation and facilitation of the PD that the LMS principal is the primary designer on. Investigations, when there's a personnel matter that requires investigation, or there's a bullying situation, for instance, that needs investigation, the associate principals would still be the point person on that. And then the liaison to school academic departments. They would be the, communicating back and forth with those who are in the social studies department, the math department, et cetera. The assistant principal in this model for 26-27 would provide cross-site support. And we would want to find ways, again, this is a draft model, but we would want to find ways to have that role support both schools in a very fluid, dynamic way. I've been asked the question, how many days might the assistant principal be at one school versus the LMS principal? I think I'd be reluctant to define it in terms of days. To me, it really is about the work that needs to be supported and covered. I would imagine this assistant principal would be someone who is working directly with the principal on developing the program for the new middle school or any other administrative projects. MTSS oversight, 504 oversight, extracurriculars. Deciding what extracurriculars we're preparing for in the new school, that in itself is an important job. In fact, we imagine that our extracurricular program will be larger and more robust in the new school. This person could also be involved with evaluations. And what I intended to include here, but neglected to, is some cross-site support around social emotional learning to make sure that our SEL practices are in line at both schools. So that's again, I'll back up just a second. That's the sort of the model that would support us in 26, 27. I see 26, 27 as sort of the most critical year in terms of defining program and electives and offerings. And so, kind of recognizing, I want to be sort of transparent that in 26, 27, this does introduce sort of a fifth position into the mix. I just want to note that this position, that we're able to make this investment without reducing services in any other area. We realized some savings through high school enrollment. We just had the sign-up period at the high school, and so we're able to capture some retirement-related savings that are really tied to sign-ups and enrollment at the high school. So we have the opportunity to do this, to lay this model out in 26, 27, but I also recognize, I think whenever you do something like this, you want to do something that is sustainable over time. And so as we move to 27, 28, we would sort of go back to the arrangement with 4 positions: a Long Meadow Middle School principal, an associate principal at each of the schools, and then we'd want to ensure that there was dedicated special education coordination across both schools as well. So I think in this year, you'd see that the Long Meadow Middle School principal would have more capacity to support the daily operations at those sites. And then as we move again, where I started this, looking at 28, 29, envisioning a Long Meadow Middle School principal and associate principal, a role, a person who is responsible for curriculum coordination, and a person responsible for coordinating special education across the 2 schools. And for those of you who like the 30,000-foot view, this essentially captures the model on one single slide. So for your consideration, this is something that I have always imagined would be necessary, and I think it's a move that puts us on the road to becoming a unified middle school with a new singular program, a new set of offerings, and a new set of electives. So we're excited about it. This has, I understand this has many implications. There's some of this that still needs to be defined. I think we have, sort of a good start on how it would be defined for the 26, 27 school year. But of course, as you get in the outlying years, it becomes, you need to define it a little more precisely. I just want to note at the bottom of this slide, highlighted in yellow, you'll see that it says all shared fluid leadership, working as a team visibly across both sites. I think that highlighted line there is critically important. I think our middle school team of administrators really needs to sort of model the type of collaboration that we're going to need out of our staff and out of our educators. So it starts with the administrative team, it starts with them modeling, it starts with them being a visible presence at both campuses. And so in many respects, we're moving to next year a model where we have a single middle school with a campus at Glenbrook and a campus at Williams. So would welcome your questions, your thoughts, and important to stretch my thinking on this to make sure that we have a model that makes sense for Long Meadow Public Schools.
Thank you, Dr. O'Shea.
Thank you.
It's definitely, I appreciate the proactive approach to going about this as thoughtfully and efficiently as possible. And I also think when you were talking to me, as I've been the SEAL rep for the Special Ed Alliance of Long Meadow for the last 3 years, and we're always talking to families and about students, and they're always asking for more coordination and support with the SPED services, and I know how hard the special ed department works, so I'm thrilled to see that capacity will be grown at the middle school level, because I feel like that's something that we hear a lot about, is the middle school special education. So I'm looking forward to you stretching your thinking about that. It's exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
So, when we're talking about changing the job title from an assistant principal to an associate
Yeah.
principal, how do you see them fit in our pay scale groupings?
Yeah. So, obviously it depends on who ultimately fills these roles. But I think that the title suggests, an elevated level of responsibility. It suggests a level of responsibility that is very close to what our principals currently do. So I would want to make sure that the associate principals in this model, that they are compensated in a way that mirrors our principal.
So would it be creating a new unit?
This would not be a new unit. These would be independent positions. So our assistant principals, for everyone at home, our assistant principals belong to a collective bargaining unit. They're covered by the Unit B contract. The associate principals under this model would be independent contractors, in the same way that central office administrators and principals are independent contractors.
In the 27-28 year, when we're talking about a curriculum specialist and a special ed specialist going forward,
Yep.
would they also be contracted, or would they fit into a different budgetary?
Yeah, so right now, I'd say that at the elementary, it's a really good question. I think it's one of the key questions. Right now, at the elementary and the high school level, we receive some curriculum leadership support from Unit A educators. Again, Unit A educators being our professionally licensed classroom teachers. So at the high school, that looks like department chairs. At the elementary level, that looks like our math and lit coaches, literacy coaches. And so we have that, and those are, we enjoy that leadership from Unit A staff. Similarly, we have special education supervisors who are members of Unit A at the elementary level, at the preschool level, and at the high school level. So I think, it would be wise to try to align that. But I also would want to, wouldn't want to paint us into a corner on that, and I'd want to sort of give us some flexibility. So as that year approaches, the individuals that are in those positions, that it kind of matches the expectations. So I think I guess the short answer is those could be Unit A positions, they could be Unit B positions, but I would say that's something that I think it would be wise to decide that as we get closer to the fall of '28.
Could you go to the last slide where you had kind of that bird's eye view piece of it? Okay, so what you just said about curriculum coordination, special ed coordination, and how it works at both the elementary and the high school level makes sense. I don't think we have to decide right now, given that it's a few school years away, exactly what those positions will be in the future. I agree that we will need folks to be helping with curriculum coaching, helping with special ed, particularly, I think, at the beginning, in the first couple of years, as we try to get departments that have not been able to work together because they're in different buildings, kind of all on the same path. And also we have, realistically, curriculum updates for both math and ELA in the near future as well. I like where this looks like it is heading, but I also kind of want to take it a year at a time and see where we are.
Yeah.
assess as we keep moving forward. I agree that it makes sense to start thinking now about what that LMS principal role looks like, and this year, the 26-27 year, will be a big year for making a lot of decisions, doing a lot of coordination, and connecting with a lot of different groups, and being available to represent the district throughout that process. So I think that's important to start building that connection now. And I think for 26-27, that definitely makes sense. And then as we move forward, we assess as we go what seems to be the most logical plan. But I do appreciate kind of thinking out where that goes. And I think the idea of curriculum coordination, I think probably likely Unit A, the way it is at the middle, or the elementary and the high school, and special ed coordination definitely will be needed at the middle school level as well, and already is realistically needed at the special ed level as well.
I think when you talk about alignment, that's another way that this aligns.
Exactly.
Because it's meeting the needs of students right now.
Yeah.
That's needed.
And I'd say to the extent that the committee takes a vote on this, I would say you're not bound to the 27-28 school years and 28-29 school year, but I think it's
We're
never,
just making the reorganization this year to
yeah, I think it really,
build the capacity of both of
Yeah.
Right.
special.
I think you had mentioned that in 26-27, that LMS assistant principal, part of their responsibility was going to be construction coordination. Was that right?
I would say that the LMS principal would be the primary point of contact to the
Okay.
contractor and the design team, but I would see the assistant principal as having the flexibility to be assigned by that Long Meadow principal to be involved with, let's say, we have to make some adjustments to parking or to pick up and drop off or to the use of the outside spaces. Like, I could see that assistant principal being available to the LMS principal to make sure that whatever was decided upon was implemented properly. So I think those two, potentially are working hand in hand.
Right, so going back to what Nicole said, I think that it makes sense to take this sort of year by year because, in the 27-28 school year, we're dropping that position off.
Right.
And we don't know at this point how necessary that
what it will
that person
look
will be,
like.
how critical that will be.
We
That's
could
fair.
find from year to year that it's good to have a bigger vision and to know sort of where directionally we're headed.
Yeah.
And we might find that that's exactly where we land as year to year passes, or we might find that, okay, actually, we need to, pivot and make a change.
But I think it's incredibly well forethought of having an LMS principal overseeing starting right away to
It's
really sort of start
proactive.
coordinating now so that we are not behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
And getting the best use of these funds and new school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think
helping
that's
ensure
really
more
key. That
success with
position
that
is
process.
most key.
Yeah, bringing two schools
And
together
that's
is
what
no
we're really
small
voting
feat.
on. I think we're seeing
Yeah.
what it could potentially look like years down the road, just so that we have that end in mind. I am also such a teacher, and I have to backwards plan everything I do, or I can't make any decision. So I feel like you have to think about that, and
I think that-
that's it aligns there, and it aligns here and now.
I agree. I think taking it year to year makes sense. I think my intention in sharing this with you really is just to convey that I think we will be in a position to have folks in more specialized roles that can better serve the students and families of Long
And
Meadow
like it is at other schools. I mean, tonight Nicole Paris-Pro was talking about the preschool and how that preschool special ed coordinator is critical to transitions from early intervention into preschool, but also preschool into elementary school. And this is a huge transition from middle school to high school. Having a person,
And from elementary to middle.
yeah, exactly. It's huge. There's like
But
these
I
are
think having
critical
an
transitions for
overview
children.
coordinator right now to sort of is imperative. And
I think
it's
for-
very
Hey,
important.
Hey, Michaela, can I just
Yes.
ask two kind of quick
Of
questions?
course.
I'm fine with year one if you're adding a person in there. Tom Mazza, where are you getting the money from?
I thought we were using
Well, we've been monitoring what we have budgeted in the positions, and I think, as the superintendent mentioned, based on signups for next year at the high school, we're seeing at least 1.0, I think it's maybe closer to 1.4 FTEs that we're not going to be posting for. So these would be vacant positions, not people who were reducing their jobs, but through attrition, we're going to have more positions than what we expected when we were developing the budget. So I would say those
And this will cover what we think we're going to spend on this position now.
Yeah, based on what I'm estimating, what those savings would be, I believe we'll have the funds to cover this proposal for next year.
Got it. And then just the last kind of comment, and I agree, like, we're not making decisions about 28, 29, any of those ones at this point, but my opinion on that, the more I just look at these and kind of question it, I don't think that we should be reducing expenses, not keeping them flat. So I would kind of be more in favor, and I know this is 4 years out, so if I'm on the committee, I'll have a vote. If not, but something I think Elise said on the prior to the vote is, that curriculum side of it. I don't understand how that doesn't fall in Beth's area, and I think me as just a taxpayer, I'd be sitting back going like, why isn't Beth doing this? What do we pay her to do? As a part of that. So, that I would be wanting a reduction given we're spending $161 million on the school. But that's 4 years out. So if I'm here, I'll vote on it. If not, but that's kind of my opinion on that, is you don't need that many positions. You should be able to be way more efficient. And I think 3 administration positions should be able to handle that one school. Given how you're going to structure it. So that would be my 2 cents. But I'm fine with this year, getting organized and getting somebody ready to take over the school, whoever that may be. I think makes a lot of sense.
For what it's worth, I think if we're in the 28-29 school year, if these positions were to be Unit A positions, you would realize some savings potentially from where we are right now. But
yeah, I just don't think I'm more of like the favor. I'm just looking at it kind of going like, I kind of would call on that. Once you go through this for 2 years and you have all these, this person for 2 years to be able to do that, I kind of just throw this back on Beth's position to handle the curriculum, school-wide is kind of the way I look at it. That'd be my viewpoint on it. Because I'd rather spend the money elsewhere on another special ed or another teacher or another elementary school. I just look at every dollar we spend as a dollar I'm not spending somewhere else that may be better. That one, I think the committee at that time should really think through and go, is this a good use of our funds, or is this something Beth should be doing, or that position that Beth currently holds should be doing,
yep.
As it relates to that. But, it's something that's going to transition over time.
Makes sense.
Jamie, that's a really important point, because actually I just read a study. It compared Sweden and Finland, who had the same level of schools scoring the same, and one country nationally invested in teachers and training teachers and paying teachers as much as the highest industries, and the other decided to privatize and do school vouchers. And the ones that invested in teachers have won out by like the scores are not even close anymore. And I think that you're right, it's something that we have to think about year by year. It's important to build the capacity of the job now, but that is something that should always be thought about every year, is how can we make sure that the money is that our money that we spend on the budget and to build capacity is best serving students efficiently. And that's always with the teachers.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And it's kind of where I'm going with this.
Isn't it fascinating?
Should be sitting back and really kind of questioning, where we're spending the money, and if it's the right spot or not, or, are we aligned properly? Because I look at Beth's position as the overall, complete school district-wide view of curriculum. And her hands should be in every of it. But once you have it defined, you're making minor tweaks. it'd be like not having Tom Mazza driving something that was financial at the middle school. It makes it silly. He's the one that drives it, and then he should be telling us where we should be making adjustments or not making adjustments. He wouldn't be somebody that I would exclude from that decision making. He'd be the one driving it. So I view that curriculum, Beth's position and Tom's position, very similar. You know, it should be strategic in nature, that they should have their hands in any of those. And then once you make those decisions, it's not a day-to-day job as much. It's a year-to-year or 6 months to 6 month job, unlike the special ed, which is day-to-day, hour-to-hour, is the way I kind of view it. And I would just say make sure we spend that money in the right way to get whatever the heck we're trying to get to. So, okay, but I'm good with doing the principal. I think this part of this plan is personally pretty close to a no-brainer and getting our organized, because you're going to have a rough couple years here of trying to, you know, address so many different concerns and so many different projects, and we got to make sure the middle school kids get a good experience too. So I think it's a good idea.
I would, just to piggyback on what Jamie said, I would agree with that. I think the administration is to be commended. This makes a lot of sense. I know, having worked in a couple of different regions across the country, when there's folks starting brand new schools, not just new buildings, as the superintendent mentioned, you were part of a new build for an existing school, like that's a heavy lift. But when people are building a brand new school from scratch with a blank slate, they often have like 1 or 2 year runways of hiring and lead up and planning going into getting that investment off the ground. Say nothing of combining two already pre-existing schools. So I agree with Jamie. It seems like a no-brainer for the amount of investment from time and taxpayers in the community to set things up well. I think it's really smart. So kudos.
Wait, does anybody else have anything that they want to add or say, or?
I'll just note that if the arrangement for the proposal for the 26-27 school year is acceptable to the committee, that my intention would be to post that position and sort of quickly develop a plan to engage stakeholders in hiring that position, and would project a July 1 start.
Excellent.
So
That's
Do we have the runway to do that?
I think the clock is ticking. I think we have,
So, like, we
have
should
enough time now. I think
Vote
if you
on
could-
a motion tonight to reorganize for the middle school
yeah.
principal position so that it can be done
To
well.
that end, then, I move that we approve the 2026-2027 middle school administrative reorganization as outlined and presented.
We have a
Second.
motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too. So, going into executive session.
I move that the school committee meet in executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Purpose 2, to conduct grievance hearing with union personnel. 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, specifically regarding a memorandum of agreement related to a Unit A position. And 7, approval of minutes to reconvene into open session.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too. Welcome back to the August, I wish it was August, not August 28th though, August 1st. Welcome back to the April 28th, 2026 school committee meeting. We're coming back from executive session and we're gonna vote on the way.
I move that the school committee approve the memorandum of agreement dated April 28th, 2026 as presented.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too. And we have one final motion.
I move that the school committee adjourn the April 28th, 2026 school committee meeting.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
Emily?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And a yes for me too. Have a great night tonight, April 28th.
Good night.
I forget the date.